am perfect. I am wholeness. I am divinely guided. I am perfect. I am wholeness. I am divinely guided. I am perfect. I am wholeness. I am divinely guided. I am perfect. I am wholeness. I am divinely guided. So I know today, as we come together, we recognize the one source, the one presence that we call God. We know that it is everywhere present in everything, in the music, in the video, in our breath. It is right here, right now. Never, never, never escaping our love. Right here in our own heart. And as I know that truth, I know that I am one with that. I know that each person that is here today is one with that. Each person here is perfect, is whole, is complete, and divinely guided by the infinite presence that moves in our life and every breath and every conscious thought that we have. And so today I give a great thanks for Joe, knowing that he is absolutely guided by the One, that his music inspires us to know the truth, our oneness, to be one with all that is possible. I'm thankful for the technology that brings us together, whether it be the hospital, our bedroom, out in the woods. We are always connected, just like we're connected to the divine. And so I'm grateful for that. And I'm grateful for all those that are in service, because that is the sign of love, the giving of self, which Spirit says yes to. Spirit says we're whole. And so I give great thanks for this day, knowing that we have all come together to hear this truth about ourselves, to know this truth, to embody this truth, to make way for a greater life. And so with that, I give great thanks. I release these words into the infinite law of love, knowing that we came here to feel that love, to be that love, and to express that love. And so with that, I give great thanks. I let it be, and so it is. Amen. Thank you. Now that I've got you down here, let's bring back Joe. Okay.
Thanks. Today we're going to do a little group participation. Now there's only 20 of those, so you might have to share with the person next to you. And but you've all heard the song before. But these lyrics were written by the late great Joan Kurland, who was a mainstay of the CSL music movement back in the day. And she came up with some pretty clever lyrics for this song, so let's all do it together. On the first day of Christmas, Spirit said to me, it's good to receive and release. On the second day of Christmas, Spirit said to me, love everyone, and it's good to forgive and release. On the third day of Christmas, Spirit said to me, cast out fear, love everyone, and it's good to forgive and release. On the fourth day of Christmas, Spirit said to me, pray every day, cast out fear, love everyone, and it's good to forgive and release. On the fifth day of Christmas, Spirit said to me, God's everywhere. Pray every day, cast out fear, love everyone, and it's good to forgive and release. On the sixth day of Christmas, Spirit said to me, look on the bright side, God's everywhere. Pray every day, cast out fear, love everyone, and it's good to forgive and release. On the seventh day of Christmas, Spirit said to me, always be thankful, look on the bright side, God's everywhere. Pray every day, cast out fear, love everyone, and it's good to forgive and release. On the eighth day of Christmas, Spirit said to me, know life's abundance, always be thankful, look on the bright side, God's everywhere. Pray every day, cast out fear, love everyone, and it's good to forgive and release. On the ninth day of Christmas, Spirit said to me, strive to be patient, know life's abundance, always be thankful, look on the bright side, God's everywhere. Pray every day, cast out fear, love everyone, and it's good to forgive and release. Did I skip one? On the 10th day of Christmas, Spirit said to me, try meditation, strive to be patient, know life's abundance, always be thankful, look on the bright side, God's everywhere. Pray every day, cast out fear, love everyone, and it's good to forgive and release. On the 11th day of Christmas, Spirit said to me, help those who need it, try meditation, strive to be patient, know life's abundance, always be thankful, look on the bright side, God's everywhere. every day, cast out fear, love everyone, and it's good to forgive and release. Are you ready? On the 12th day of Christmas, Spirit said to me, do affirmations, help those who need it, try meditation, strive to be patient, know life's abundance, always be thankful, look on the bright side, God's everywhere. Pray every day, cast out fear, love everyone, and it's good to forgive and release.
You guys can go home now. That's my talk. That was great. Can we keep these?
Sure.
Yeah. Yay. All right. Let me put this up here. These are my remember notes. All right. So welcome again. Today, the talk title is Embracing Wholeness. Now, I know all of you know this. So everything I'm going to say today, you already know. But the truth is, we have life happen. Anybody have life happen this week? Yeah. And so sometimes we have to be reminded. So today I'm not only going to talk about it, we're going to have some tools that I'm going to give you in addition to some of the things that we'll go over today. So Ernest says this. There we go. Ernest Holmes says, the spark which burns, this sounds like a little echo coming back. The spark which burns at the center of our own soul is caught from the living and the eternal flame of spirit. Our charge then is to recognize, nurture, and express this divine spark of wholeness. We kindle this flame by living from our own divine center, recognizing it in others, working for it in our community and in the world, and looking to great way showers to inspire and guide us. In this, the universe knows us as whole. So in my prayer, I mentioned the people that are in service here. The universe sees them as whole. The universe sees you as whole, whether we see ourselves as whole or not. So when I first started coming to Science of Mind, they threw, in fact, can you do me a favor, Emma? Turn on that light over there. I stood up there and I listened to all these people talk. The light's on the left side over here. Thank you. Just for a moment, so hang out. They had all these words, and I'm like, what are they talking about? Order, joy, balance, peace, all this stuff. And the reason why I question it is because it didn't fit my life. It wasn't me. It wasn't my experience at the time. And I think as I've grown, obviously I understand what that means, but at the time it didn't make sense. So I had to investigate these words. I had to look at them and say, well, what do they really mean? And I had to have faith. This is the critical part. I had to have faith in the teaching and the people that were around me, and to realize that the words they were talking about had power. So as you can see on the wall over there, and I put this up there on purpose, and there's some chairs that are kind of taken away from it, but it's okay. These are words, what we call qualities of God. Because what we're trying to do here on earth right now is to emulate those qualities. And they don't look like they have much power, but you need to know every single one of them has so much power. And when we embody it and when we give it away, we enable people to have that same feeling. It's a feeling that comes to us. So those words are up there. You can take a picture of them. I invite you. In fact, I've had that probably about 7-8 years up on a wall, because I really believe in those, and they've guided me, and they guided my life when my life did not look very good. So I invite you to take a picture of that and put it up on the wall somewhere. All right, so go ahead and close that off. Thank you. So the point of this is that when we really embrace these qualities, when we really say, yeah, that's who I am, then what happens is, and this is an interesting This is what I think makes Science of Mind so different than a lot of other faiths, is that when we really embrace this, we get to see that. You understand what I'm saying? We actually visualize it in our world. And to me, that's the consciousness that's making us move in our lives and do our work. So keep that in mind. So I have a story of the prodigal son. We all know about that story, right? I'm not going to get into the Bible. I'm going to give you a little paraphrase of this. But basically it comes down to there were two brothers, and one of them decides he's going to go out into the world. He's going to go explore life. The other one says, no, I'm staying with Dad. I'm going to fix the farm. I'm going to take care of it. I'm going to inherit it. Well, the son that decides to go out in life, we know what happens to him. He gets pretty beat up, right? He experiences all these things of the world, but he has forgotten the one thing, God. And so he goes through this whole minutiae of stuff, and he decides, you know what? I don't belong with the pigs anymore. I'm coming back home. I'm coming back to my father and the farm. And I don't care what I have. I'm just coming back to where I know I'm loved. So he starts coming back home, and he goes through the valleys, and he goes through the mountains, and he gets back to the valley where his family is. And he can see his property. He can see that, oh, there they are. Father and brother are working out in the land. But they're kind of like little dots. They're just kind of far away. So he keeps walking, and then he notices that one of the dots is moving towards him, but he can't tell who it is. And pretty soon they get close enough where he can see it's his father that's coming to him to welcome him home. To say, I'm so glad you are here. I'm glad you have come home. The analogy behind that is, and I think that all of us have had this experience, at least I definitely have, and I hope you have too, is that when we turn to the one source, the one power, we call it God, you may call it another name, is that when we turn to that, is it says, welcome, I am here. And all of a sudden there's a shift. I can remember one time where I was just a miserable mess. And I was on my knees, and I was pounding on the ground, and I said, where are you? I need you now. And I had this sensation that came over my body that said, I'm right here. What do you want? So we need to know that when we turn to that, and maybe that source, in fact, I was listening to the radio on the way over, and they had a rabbi that was talking about it, and about spirituality. And I thought, well, how interesting that I picked this channel. And he basically said, you know, it could look like anything. It could look like the beach. It could look like God in the trees. It could look like a friend that's shown up. It's whatever you make it, but it comes to you when you ask for it. We have a couple more people coming in. Hi, come on in. Come on in. So I just want you to absorb this, that Spirit is here right now with you, and all you have to do is ask. Don't be afraid of it. Ernest Holmes says this. He said, God turns to us as we turn to him. I'm going to add, God turns to us as we turn to her today. Hey, you. Long time. Our more beautiful thought could not be given than this. There's always a reciprocal action between the universe and the individual mind. As we look at God, God looks at us. God, or I call it the quality of God, comes to us as we come to him or her or to it. So when you want to feel that, just ask yourself, and today I'm going to give you a sheet which has all these qualities on it. And it's very powerful. I created this with another student in 2003. That's how long I've kept this, because it's so powerful. So the bottom line is, it is done to us, unto us as we believe. and act as though I am and I will be. It's funny, I've heard that comment, act as though, in business. But it's all over. Act as if, and it shall be. So I have some concepts that we have to embrace to understand this. And the reason why is if we don't embrace it, if we just go, oh, well, this is just another Sunday service, then we don't really get the bottom line. So I purposely have put these together for you. Here's what we have to embrace. The first two come together. We are naturally, irresistibly drawn to wholeness. There's something within us that yearns to discover that which makes us whole. How many of you here would say you feel that yearning, but don't know what it is? All of you have a yearning. There is a yearning inside of you that says, I want to be a teacher. I want to live in a tiny house. I want to travel the East Coast or the West Coast. There's that yearning that says, I want to be. That's you. That's a real you. The second one is realize the peace and joy that we inherently know is by divine birthright. What do I mean by that? What I mean by that is you do not have to go get this stuff. When you were born, it was inside of you. All of those qualities of God are already yours. They were already yours, and we don't have to go get it from anybody. It belongs to us. It belongs to you. You are already it. And if anybody has told you're not, come see me. And I'll remind you that you are already it. God wants us to embrace our wholeness. We say here a lot, we are an expression of God. As that expression, I don't care if you're a teacher, you're retired, you have children, you don't have children, whatever's going on in your life, God wants you to embrace who you are. You are perfect, whole, and complete, just the way you are. Even if you're having a bad day and fall off a ladder. You know that, right? I did that 2 weeks ago. I'm much better today because I keep saying I'm perfect, whole, and complete. I keep talking to my leg and saying, you're going to be fine. And it's kind of getting better, so there we are. The key to living wholeness is the realm of consciousness. Okay, so how many of us think on a daily basis that we're whole? Oh, you do? Good. Yay! I don't always do that. It's for just a moment, huh? But today, after this talk, I want you to start reminding yourself. And you'll have this sheet of paper where you can actually go and you can say, where am I today? What do I want today? How am I feeling today? I'm feeling, here's a good example. I love this one. I'm feeling chaos. The news is driving me crazy. I don't feel fulfilled. Then you go back and say, well, what do I want to feel? Today is about wholeness. So you pull those pieces together, which help you to identify, obviously, who you are. And the last point is a life of wholeness flows through our experience only because it first flows through our consciousness. And spiritual consciousness is attained through practicing truth. Now, you're going to get a card today that says wholeness. Maybe I should give you a card that says truth. Because if we don't go towards the light of truth, we are totally confused. Right? Have you ever been with somebody that just runs you in a circle? No? Yes, I have. More than one. And when that happens, my mind is always going, where am I? Who am I? What am I thinking? Instead of moving towards the truth, because the truth is, truth will set you free. And we won't get political today, but truth will set you free. That's all I'm going to say. The other part that I think is really important is that no matter what we're faced with, no matter what troubles appear, whether it's health, whether it's, education, whether it's a relationship, is that we always have what I call infinite possibilities. And that's why I wore this today. Because it's interesting, I did an Enneagram. Everybody heard of that? I had somebody do something with me this week on that. And they asked me a question about whether it was a yes or no question, whether I believed in their possibilities or not. I said, absolutely. And I have all through my life believed there was always possibilities. I think that's why I drove people crazy. Because I always knew there was more. I didn't know how to get there, but I always knew there was more. It takes strong belief in yourself and the trust in the universe that there is more. And no matter your situation, there is always more. There's always. And I want you to get that one today. So I have a little story. This came with the gentleman who wrote part of this topic today. I really like a lot because he's one of those individuals that gives you more. It gives you all these different things that you can talk about, and then you choose what fits for me today. So this is kind of a parable. There was a gentleman, I'm going to call him a truth seeker, and this is way back in the, BC time. And he was told to go to, he wanted to find truth, and someone says, well, go to a cave, and in the cave there will be a well, and ask the well your question. So he went to the cave, he found the cave, and he found the well. And he said to the well, so what is truth? What is truth? And the well said, well, go to the village. There's a crossroad. And at the crossroad, you will find what you are seeking. It's like, okay, well, so he was really enthusiastic. I'm going to go find my answer at the crossroads. So he goes to the crossroads, and he finds there are 3 very uninteresting stores. And one of the stores is selling metal. It's like, well, that doesn't mean anything to me. And then he said, well, I'll go to the next shop. Maybe the answer's there. And so he goes to the next shop, and they're selling wood, solid wood, pieces of beautiful wood. He's like, well, I don't know what that means. And then the third shop he goes to, there's these little thin pieces of metal, like string of metal. You've seen these little strings of metal, right? He goes, well, there's nothing here. And he goes back to the well and he says, what are you doing, trying to make me a fool? And so he's very disappointed, and he decides, well, forget this. I'm going to go find it somewhere else, right? We're going to find it somewhere else. So as the years pass, he becomes older, walks a little slower. We can relate to this, right? Walks a little slower, more deliberately, and he starts to live his life. He starts to pay attention to what things are around him. He starts to pay attention to, the streets and the people, and he's more in the now moment. And then he's walking down one of the streets, and he hears this music, and it's just so incredible. And he's like, where's that coming from? And he goes to the location, and it's this young man who's playing a sitar. And so he decides, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to I need to hear this. This just feels so good. So he sits down, but he doesn't sit like in the back. He sits right in front of the person that's playing the sitar. And he's so amortized by this sound that he starts to look at the sitar. And he notices 3 things. It's made out of wood, metal. I have forgotten already. And string. Thank you, whoever knew that. And string. And he realizes, oh, that's what the message was. The message was, we can't look at the fragments like they're by themselves, like they're separated. We have to look at the whole picture, the whole thing. Because when we look at the fragments separately, we feel that way. But when we see the fragments as whole, a deeper meaning of reality comes to play. So for me, what that really comes down to is when I look at myself as being separate from, even when I fell, first words I heard my mind say to me was breathe. I had no idea how much I was injured. I had no idea what the results were going to be, but I heard breathe, and you're okay. So I still, at that moment, was conscious enough to know that I'm perfect, whole, and complete, even though it's been quite a way back. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what life is like. Sometimes we feel like I have some real good words I could use, but I won't. It doesn't feel very good. And so we have to look beyond that to what is it that brings me and makes me more perfect, whole, and complete, and right now. And forget what anybody else has told you. If they've told you that you're not okay, you don't want to be around them. You don't need to be around them. It isn't necessary, because you want to hang out with people who love you and care about you. So thank you for being here today. So I have 3 more points. First point is, seek the kingdom and it shall be revealed. I talked about that earlier. Seek God. I say this all the time to myself when I don't know the answer. Reveal to me that which I need to know. I think it was 3 or 4 weeks ago, I didn't know what to say in my talk, and God came back with one word. It was kindness. That kindness has served many other people because of that. See, Jesus said, advise that we seek the kingdom of wholeness first, then the thing of this world will be added to our lives. What that means to me, because, we have all these ways of saying these pretty verbiages, but what that means to me is that I look for what's going to make me feel whole. I ask for it, so it must be revealed. So I do this, I don't know if most of you, I don't think have heard this, but I'll ask somebody when they don't realize it, I'll say, well, how much is 2 + 2? And they go, 4. I said, that's right. It is 4. It's not 6. It's not 2. It's not 12. It's 4. The law must provide. And we have to believe that that's possible. That's our faith coming forward. And how do we do this? Well, there's all these magical ways: meditation, prayer, contemplation, visioning. Well, I can tell you when I was doing all this and learning all this, I was like, I'm in the middle of the day, I'm working, I'm driving, I don't have time to do meditation, prayer, and all this other stuff. So, a secret now. I used to go find a bathroom, because nobody's going to bother you in a bathroom. And I would close my eyes and I would just say, reveal to me that which I need to know. That is all I did. I closed my eyes. And I used to call in this wholesaler. They're no longer in business, but I was always afraid he was going to ask me to pay him. Always afraid. And so I would actually, in my car, because I was by myself, I would pray before I would go in. And the truth is because I just knew there were possibilities, I never once got asked for a payment. Never once. And I got everything that I wanted, because I went to the one. I asked, what is it I need to know? So that's what I'm going to invite you to do. The other thing that I want to point out with this one statement is that there are other practices which are really simple, like gratitude, forgiveness, and compassion. They're not simple sometimes. How many people have seen something somewhere that you really wanted? Everybody raise your hand. I want that Mercedes. I want that, that shirt. I want this. I saw this from one of our members. I said, I have to have that shirt. Now, here's the interesting part about seeing that which you want. When we see what we want, that means we are deserving, because we now recognize it. If we could not recognize that which we wanted, it wouldn't show up. It would not show up in your life. So when you see something you like, bless it. Say, thank you, God, for showing me that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Obviously, forgiveness and compassion are things we have to really work at. But the thing is, what we're doing when we do this work of praying, meditating, contemplating, looking at these things, what we're doing is we're unifying our mind and our heart together. So it's going, yeah, that's what I want. And so we then set the law in motion, the law of 2 plus 2, to keep it simple. So the second thing is, could you forward that, please? Realize Spirit will guide us. It's so easy to get caught up that I'm alone, that nobody's going to be there, nobody's going to help me, I'm not going to get fixed, what I want isn't going to happen, and my goodness, I want you to realize Spirit will always be there for you, no matter what it looks like. No matter. I think everybody in this room may or may not know this, but this last, I might cry too, this last week our accountant passed away. And it's taken me for a loop. It's really been hard on me. Not only because he was our accountant, because he was my friend for over 25 years, maybe 30. It's funny how these days, times go by. And it's been really hard on me. Because he was so happy. He was so happy. He was so joyous. If you look at his Facebook, you'll see his Facebook page, and there's not a picture where he's not smiling. He was also one of the most kind people I've ever met. And he always said yes. And he's a big loss. But I've been in conversation with many people over the last week about it. And I don't know if you've noticed, but in the world, a lot of public people have also passed away. And I said to one person, I said, I bet he's up there just saying, oh my God, you came too? I mean, I can just see him. I can just see him going, oh, well, hi. I'm glad you're here with me. He was that kind of guy. So I have to go inside myself, even though I'm saddened by this. But go inside myself and know that he is happy. He is carrying on. He has lived a great life. He just didn't stay long enough. And then he's loved and he's married. He's, missed. So, and I want you to say, I also believe that he's part of that Spirit that's guiding us. I trust he is. In fact, I've talked to people now who can help me with the accounting. I never thought I would find anybody, but it's his best friend. So we just have to be open to listening and knowing that we're not alone through whatever we're going through. And I'll announce during the announcements, there will be a service for him if those that want to go. Werner Erhard said this. He said, the conditions for transformation are not present when people are hungry. So we take charge of our life, practice dominion, and clear the circuits of our consciousness in order to make ourselves ready to experience wholeness. The circuits are what's up here. What's in our mind? Two things, our mind and dominion. We have dominion over our lives. We feed ourselves. We think about driving down the road. We think about what we're going to say. Sometimes you know what I mean? We have that dominion, and as a result of that, we need to be conscious of it and use it for the good. The third point is, and I think this is really valuable, the definition of wholeness is a reflection of our deepest desires. And when we have expectations that don't fulfill that, we think that there's something wrong. It's just an expectation that has not been filled. It is not the desire that has not been fulfilled. And we have to be able to see both. We have to be able to separate those out and realize, gee, I'm having a rough time here, but that's not who I am. That's just a rough time here. What I am today is perfect, whole, and complete. even as we pass. I know for Sam, he is perfect, whole, and complete right where he is. I miss him. I'm not happy that he's gone, but it is what it is. And I'll have a shirt someday that'll say that. The thing is that yearning I talked about in the beginning, that yearning is to have one of those qualities expressed in our life. And we have to acknowledge that. We have to know that and to move towards that. Now, sometimes, and I've heard this recently, I don't remember who it was from, but it's like, well, it's not happening now. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to slow down. The world is moving too fast for me. Is it working? We're moving too fast for anybody else? There's too much, going on out there. And I don't want to be around that. I want to be in the moment so I can express myself, I can be myself, I can do what needs to be done. Sometimes I get in a rush. Anybody do that? I'm not alone then. We get in a rush and then something happens that makes us stop. So I'm going to invite all of you. I don't care if you're 22 years old. I don't even know if you're that. But slow down a little bit. Pay attention to what's going on in the moment. Don't move so fast that you can't see and then move to the next thing. The next thing will always be there. It's kind of like work, It's always going to be there. The laundry's always going to be there. You can enjoy it, though. I think last time I talked about, enjoying those processes. Joe Campbell says this. I love this. He says, we all want to feel the rapture of being alive. How fun it is, at least for me, to sit in my backyard. I used to do this when I lived in Hamul. I would watch the oak trees grow. You know what I mean? From these little tiny leaves, and all of a sudden they're going like that. It's watch things happen in front of us and find the joy in that. I've been taking my dogs to the dog park. And Forrest now is 10 months old. Oh my God. And he is a brute. He's adorable though. But you know what? He's not afraid of anything. He's not afraid of life. He's not afraid of the big dogs. He's not afraid of just laying down and going, okay, here I am. And so I get to watch him be his true self. And as his mom, I go, well, you're looking like you're getting a little beat up there. How about if we go for a walk? I'll say, let's go for a walk. And my other dog, Bodie, will also go. And we'll walk to the other side of the dog park. So he can calm down and then refresh, do his business, and then maybe we'll go back. Or we'll find some new friends. You follow me? It's an onward process, but it's being in the moment and to feel the liveliness of him, which gives me life and paying attention. The thing is, we have to center ourselves in that. And today you're going to get to do that. So we're going to do, I have a few things for call to action that I'm going to talk about, but then we're going to do a process, and it's going to be your own personal process. And so the bottom line comes down to is Spirit wants to give us the kingdom right now, and to have a life of wholeness, to feel that wholeness, to be that wholeness, and then to give that wholeness away. I love reminding people that they're whole. I don't necessarily use that word. I just say, you're great. You're amazing. You're something else. And knowing that, I know I've planted a seed. And everybody in here is planting seeds. Zoe is working up in Camp Cedar Ridge. As new people come, and she's planting seeds in these young people that are coming. Or even some adults. I'm sure you're working with some adults too. But planting seeds of goodness, of greatness, of possibilities. I'm glad to see you doing that, because we need more of you to be doing that.
Feels good to do it.
Does, doesn't it? Yeah. Hafiz said this one quote. He said, the beloved is God, said, my name is not complete without yours. I'm made whole by your life. Each soul completes me. So you're completing Spirit's expression of God in the world. You need to know and claim that as who you are. It's really kind of cool when you realize, oh, wow, I'm really doing something that's special. I think it's really important that you realize that. So our charge really is to do the work. Just do this work. I always say give it away, because if you give anything away that you've learned here, that means you've learned it, right? Right? You've learned it. You have learned it. So we're going to do a little process, and I'm going to have him turn the video back on. You can watch it, but stay with me for a little bit, because we're going to hand out a couple of things. So Emma is going to hand these out. I hope there are enough. I think there are. Should be like 25. So you're going to get, so stay with me while he just turns the video on. You can, I'd like the music to go because it inspires me too. But anyway, you're going to get this. It's called 14 Qualities of God. And in there are all these words that are on that wall. There are antonyms and synonyms for you to look at and say, where am I today? How do I feel today? Do I feel restricted? Do I feel unattractive? Do I feel sad? Do I feel uncertain, bewildered? So you can find the way that you feel today. And maybe you feel happy. That's great too. Then find that word. Today just happens to be the word of wholeness. And then you're also going to get this card. You're going to get this card, and this is to put on your refrigerator for you to remember that you are whole, perfect, whole, and complete, just the way you are. All right? So I'm going to give you a moment, and for those of you online, all I want you, if you are interested in receiving this information, is in the chat. I want you to tell Martin, and then Martin will give me a list of those people that want this information, and I will email it to you. So, but for today, those of you that are online, what we're going to do is you will focus on wholeness. That will be your main focus. So take a moment, find the thing that you want to work on today, whatever that might be. And when you found that, I just want you to look up at me so I know that I have everybody's attention. And just so you know what we are doing, at the bottom of the second page is the process. So you can do this on your own without me. I invite you to do that with some music, because it'll take you a little deeper. All right, so has everybody found their word? So let me just tell you why I came up with this. I remembered many, many, many times when I was learning Science of Mind that I did not feel these things. I felt like, I'm not that, or how could I feel this? And so what I had to do is create a mantra. And so I created a very simple mantra, and the mantra was, God is your quality. So for me, a lot of times it was peace, or wholeness, or love. And I am that quality. And I would repeat that over and over and over for a really long time. And what happened to me over the period of time is I could feel my whole system, my heart and my mind lifting up. And when I felt like I was done, I was done. And I went on my day. But I think that we have life happen to us a lot. And I think the news and the radio kind of takes us in a different direction. And sometimes we need something to bring us back. So that's what this tool is, to help you bring you back. So has everybody found their quality they want to practice? So you have the words right there. And what I'm going to do is this will be probably about 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, is that I'm going to repeat these words, God is, and in your mind, I want you to repeat your word. And then I'll say, I am, and then repeat your word in your mind. And we'll do this for a little bit, and pretty soon I'll stop talking and let you do your own talking to yourself, okay? All right. So I'm going to invite you to close your eyes and just listen to the music for a few minutes. Can you turn the music up a little bit? God is the I am the. God is the I am the. God is I am. 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 And on your own, God is I am. And so as we come here today, bringing our thought back to this moment, I know that God is wholeness and that we are wholeness. We are peace. We are order. We are balance. We are truth. We are love. We are all of those qualities. And the divine has brought us here today to be reminded of that. And so I know as we go forward today, we take these simple tools to remind ourselves that the good is inside of us. And maybe we've lost our way a little bit, but we're back on track. So I bless each person today that has come to know a greater part of themselves, to recognize that self, and to take that self out into the world, to do the great works that each person is doing. And so I bless you. I give great thanks. I give great thanks to the one that allows us to be together, to love and to appreciate each other, and to know that today is a great day, that all has been revealed. And join me now in saying, and so it is. And so it is. There it is. You are. Amen. Let's bring back Joe. Yay.